let's just go ahead and clear the air right now. This is normally not a series I watch. On top of that, I did not really like the first episode. However, I gave episode 2 a chance because many of you were telling me to watch the series. Watch episode 2. It's way better than episode 1. And so, because of how much I love you, Chibits, and I'm willing to listen to you, I decided to give this series a second chance. So I got around to watching the second episode today. And automatically, way better than the first episode. Way better. Now, don't get me wrong, first episode had its moments that were kind of okay, but overall, the first episode was nothing new. It was everything that I've seen kind of before from other series, and I'm like, it's not that interesting. Episode 2 took a step in the right direction. Number 1, the world building. Introducing the magic, explaining the magic, allowing our students of the series learning magic from the teacher. That was a very good step in the right direction for this anime series, Bastard Magic Instructor. So, to just talk about what the series is about thus far, okay? In case this is your first time hearing about this series and you don't even know what it's about, I'm going to kind of give a first impressions here. Now, this first impressions is kind of going to be along the lines of episode 1 and episode 2, because episode 1's kind of meh, but episode 2 is hell of a lot better than episode 1. But there's still some problems in episode 2, which I'm going to talk about. Now, the first part is, okay, the main point of this series is that it's set in a magical world where magic exists, and you have it to where we're in a school setting. Now, overall, because of that, that's one of the big reasons why I wasn't that interested, because it seemed like a very stereotypical anime series, especially watching the first episode. And you have it to where we have the main female cast and all that. They're wanting to learn magic and stuff, and one day while, they're going to class, they run into this dude, which seems to be like a jokester, someone that you can't really take seriously. They come to find out that this dude is actually their teacher, which I know many of you probably have heard this plot before. It's very similar to some other series. The person becomes their teacher. And because of this, many of the students don't really like him because, number 1, he's not really a good teacher. He's lazy. He's not teaching properly. Overall, he's just a scumbag. That's basically the perfect example of what this character is. What the main male character, the teacher, is. He is a scumbag and not someone you really should respect. One thing leads to another to where eventually the main female character, she's like, hey, I want to challenge you because I want you to be a proper teacher, and if I lose as well, obviously, I have to do whatever you want. And because of this entire conflict right there, it's something we have seen before. It is something that has popped up before in other anime and manga I have seen constantly, which is another reason why I kind of was like, on the series, I didn't want to really talk about it. But then, thanks to all of you recommending it, I decided to just check out episode 2. So, the main point of it is that the first episode and the plot and everything, it's very stereotypical. It is something I have seen tons of times, many times over, and it just does not stand out to me at all. It really does not. However, moving on past all of this cliche and all of this stuff I've seen before that doesn't really interest me and make me want to talk about it at all, episode 2 is slightly refreshing. Now, obviously, there is some problems, which I will get into, but before that, let's talk about some of the good things. Number 1, as I've already said, the introduction of the magic and also the explanation on how magic works and how words really play a part with magic. You remember when you're watching a magical series or whatever, you have it to where a character has this big, chant, like they're just talking very long, like this big-ass, like, paragraph-long magical enchantment or whatever while they're talking? Well, that's kind of what the series tries to do. It explains it to how shortening your sentences doesn't necessarily mean that that's a good thing. If you could figure out how to lengthen your sentences, you can have some very interesting results with some of your magic, and how words can really manipulate this. And that's what the main male character really shows when he talks to the girls in episode 2 and he's explaining magic. And his entire character from episode 1, when he was very lazy, he didn't care and all that, and he was like questioning, like, why do you guys all care? It pops up and we get the reason to why he acts like he does in episode 2. Now, not the full reason, but we do get some explanation. Number one, he doesn't really like the method of teaching. You can see he doesn't really give a shit at all about the books and stuff, the normal stuff you'd see in a school. He just casts that shit aside and doesn't really care. He mainly cares about other things that the books are not really teaching you. He wants to teach you stuff that normally you wouldn't find out about or be even aware about in the first place if it wasn't for someone pointing it out to you or you discovering it on your own with a lot of experiments. So because of this, the main male character, when he actually started teaching and you saw how he started to be a little bit happier, it was a sense of, holy hell, I mean, I actually like him right now. He's being a very good teacher, and you can see how he's actually truly enjoying what he's doing. Not just as, you know, I guess a character in the series, but as a person, you can see he's really enjoying what he's doing and how he's teaching this class, and he's having a sense of fulfillment. He actually is having a fulfilling life, and I really appreciate that entire scene of the episode. It allowed me to kind of grow a little bit closer to the main male character. Now, despite all of this, though, there was some obvious problems with the episode, which I'm going to dive into, and one of the biggest defenders of the episode was the rape scene. Now, don't get me wrong, depending on how some of this is used in some anime or manga or even literature, some of these scenes could be there for character development. However, the way the scene was used in this episode, it was there for the sake of being edgy. It was for the sake of honestly turning into a joke. And I'm like, no. I did not like that. That was something that really just, I was like, ooh, no. Because that entire scene just really threw me off. You had something so good going on. You had this, you know, nice, you know, conflict popping up and all that. But then all of a sudden you have this edgy scene where the main female character, our white cat, White Neko, she just, you know, she's getting almost raped. Attempt to rape against her. And then all of a sudden once that scene's done, the main male character walks in and all that. It turns into a joke. And he's like, oh, I'll back out now. You know, you guys seem busy. I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, you would turn a scene like that into a joke. It just, yeah, that's one of the clear problems with Bastard Magic Instructor, is that the tone shifts with the comedy and serious moments. They don't work. They do not work at all. That's a very big problem with these first two episodes, and I do hope that kind of tones down with future episodes, or maybe it's just the animators that's making it represented like that and it's just not working out. Regardless, though, wasn't the biggest fan of that. That was kind of an off-putting scene for the episode because it just felt so out of place for what was a very strong start and middle for this episode of Bastard Magic Instructor. So yeah, overall, it was okay. It was nothing to write home about. It was nothing for me to say, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. I want to see more of this. I'm not going to say that. However, it does have its charm to it. It does. But, is it for me? I don't know. I really don't know. I might give one more episode, like, you know, give it another chance for one more episode. But overall, though, it doesn't really stand out much to me. There's just some things about it that really just kind of tick me off personally, and maybe you're fine with some of these things, but overall, it might not be a series for me. So, yeah. I love you all. You have a wonderful day or nights wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.